you're in South Korea.
Yeah.
How did you end up, did you ever want to come to the United States? I mean, what's fascinating about your story, and again, I'm talking about the first book mainly, is how you discover things. I mean, you were so totally brainwashed that you keep having these revelations of things as time passes, that what you believed was not true, and you didn't even know of the existence of the outside world. You didn't know about the existence of the United States. When did it occur to you, maybe, that you would visit the United States?
Through Christians, okay? Something about Christians keep calling me to America, you know. The promised land calls me. There was a Tyler, Texas. Do you guys know Youth with a Mission?
Youth with a Mission.
So I did a
YWAM.
Yes, I did a YM DTS program.
Yeah.
And they were in Tyler, Texas.
Yeah.
So until that point, I still was very afraid of America. I mean, up until my life, Americans, all I saw was like posters. We were like big nose, green eyes, cold-blooded reptiles. I had no idea.
I mean, again, this is the propaganda in North Korea was so strong that even all these years later, you still had it in your mind that Americans are these monsters.
Yeah, I did. And I landed at there's a layover in Houston to Tyler at the airport. And then I just got out of the airplane so afraid. And there's this guy in a hoodie eating chips. And
was it a senator?
No. It might.
Because I'll be honest with you, I'm very scared of him also.
Yeah.
He's very frightening, very Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
So you're even though you're in Houston, you're still afraid of Americans. You're still believing some level of what has been taught to you by the propaganda.
So after living through something like that, I remember in South Korea, they were saying, everything you believed in North Korea was a lie. And I was thinking, so if everything was a lie, how do I know what you're telling me is not a lie?
Right.
It's like, it's very hard. You know, when you go through something like that, you really lose faith in humanity. You don't know how to trust again. And I found the trust through books. Books have saved me. It has been my refuge. It has been everything to me. And reading George Orwell's Animal Farm, that's when I finally understood what happened to my people, what happened to North Korea. And so yeah, through those books, it was a gradual change.
So you come to Tyler, Texas with YWAM.
Yes.
And did you consider yourself a Christian, or you're just going along for the ride? I mean, they're nice people.
So initially for me, going to YM was, I was a little bit, had instance with a pastor in South Korea, in China.
Yeah.
When I told the pastor about things that I had to do to survive in China, about being in a chat room, all of that, he said I was dirty, I was a sinner.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking about it, like Christianity is saying everybody's sinner, right? He didn't really, I guess, didn't mean that what I did was sinner. Right. But I don't know. He just said what I did was very, very dirty. I can never be white again.
It was condemning.
Yeah. So I think that's when I heard, world is never gonna forgive me if I tell them what I did to survive.
Yeah.
And then I became very resentful of that. But then I still thought like, I owe it to them. I need to at least know God or Bible properly, because they made me promise that if we rescue you, you really have to give a chance for God. And I said, I promise, yes. So I came for that too, learning about Bible again.
So that's why you went to Tyler, Texas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so how did you decide to stay in America?
I didn't. I went back to South Korea again. I did a DTS, and then I went to South America for the program, and then went back to South Korea. Yeah. And then I had a speech to give in Dublin, Ireland. And that speech gone really viral.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So I was invited to write a book in New York. That's how I came back here in 2014.
In 2014?
Yeah.
And so how long have you been in the United States?
8 years.
8 years?
Yeah.
So You went to Columbia University. That's what you write about to some extent in your new book, While Time Remains. And what you describe when you achieve this dream, something similar happened to me in the 1980s at Yale, right? It's the dream of immigrants to go to a place like this. This is success. When you describe what you encountered, even your first week,
First day.
your first day, it sounds made up. It sounds like this is made up, but I know it's not made up. I know it's true. Talk about what you encountered at Columbia and elsewhere.
Where do I begin?
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, my classmates, perfectly lovely people, they're in their like Lululemon $100 like yoga pants, or they're like green juice detox. I mean, for me in North Korea, I ate plants to survive with my bunny. Now they eat like salad, too skinny. I was very offended in America. People do that, right? I did not know the problem in America is having too much food. And they were telling me they're oppressed, like Colombia.
The women wearing the $100 Lululemon
It's
pants
like more expensive. My mom's
and
like
the $10 green drinks were saying they're oppressed.
Yeah. And I was asking them, why are you oppressed? So in Colombia, every class, before class, we have to introduce ourselves. Not about who you are, your name, or your major. It's about first thing you have to do is your pronoun.
Your pronoun.
And
What year was this?
2016.
Holy cow.
But I learned English by watching Friends. In 2014, 2 years prior, in Friends, they don't have they as a pronoun. They don't have a Z, X, Y, like none of that pronouns exist. So I go to Colombia and then I name they as he, as a biological male. And in tears, how I make them feel threatened. And then my professors were saying, who likes to read, give me examples, you need to be woke. And I thought like my English was not good. I thought, I'm awake. I'm awake, right? Like, why is she saying I need to be woke? And she's like, let me give you an example of being woke. Like, who likes to read? Jane Austen. And I love reading, and Jane Austen, I learned so much about being a human through her book. So I raised my hand, and she said, Jane Austen was like, living in an era of white colonialism and white supremacy. By reading her work, you convey the message that only white men are capable of reasonable thinking. And that's how you oppress minority people. And this is
By reading Jane Austen.
Jane Austen.
You oppress people by reading Jane Austen.
And then we have a consent orientation everybody needs to take at Columbia when you begin the college. And as a rape survivor, you appreciate that they teach you how to get a consent from your sex partner. And then after these 2 long hours of lecture, they give us examples. So you and I going to Columbia together. You and I go out drink at the bar. Both of us had beer. We had consensually agreed to make love, and the next day wake up. I think it was under the influence I made a mistake. Now I can call that rape because I was under influence. But what about the guy? He also drank too. And I was thinking, this is an insult to rape survivors. This is not what rape is. They are redefining the word oppression. They are redefining the word rape and racism. And they say math is racist, it's made up. And I was thinking, this is what my teacher told me as younger in North Korea. She said, what's 1 + 1? And I said 2. My teacher said wrong. My dear leader, when he was a kid, discovered that if you add 1 drop of water to another drop of water, what does it become? Becomes bigger 1. It does not become 2. That's how math is made up by white men to control the minorities. Colombia, they were saying the exact same thing.